Tim Shields is with us to talk about the upcoming Content 2022 Film Festival and Media Summit.
Welcome to the Ministry of Motion Pictures podcast, where only the foolhardy and headstrong dare to venture. For within these humble halls you may find your heart stirred to join the ranks of a Christian film movement, to storm the world with God-glorifying media. But be forewarned, this undertaking will lead you down a perilous road of hardship and scorn. And so, if you're committed to pursue this life of woe, brave soul, I now leave you to your resolute guide, writer and director, Todd Schaefer.
The Content 2022 Film Festival and Media Summit is going to be held at Capernaum Studios in Poolville, Texas next week, starting on February 28th and wrapping on March 3rd. Our guest today is a man who's had his hands in the world of Christian filmmaking for more than 20 years, and he's co-director of the Christian Media Association. His name is Tim Shields, and he's here to talk to us about Content 2022. This is episode 51. Tim, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. We're really anxious to hear about Content 2022 and what you've got coming down the pipe.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be here, Todd.
What do you have lined up that's really exciting for Christian filmmakers this year?
Well, this is the thing is that with Christian filmmakers, this is how I define Christian filmmakers is filmmakers are actors, directors, producers.
Yeah.
Filmmakers could be marketers of film. They could be the production team, gaffers, and those who even are editing. And so I just lump it all in together. They're all filmmakers. We need every one of them, the writers, the storyboard, people, the set design. It's just all vital. And so what do we have going? Well, we have 2 conferences a year now, one every 6 months. And we just figured we got this thing going. It's a well-oiled machine right now. And it's so that we can serve Jesus, we can serve the body of Christ, and see the gospel spread throughout the world. And so we know that media is such a powerful, has such a powerful influence. And we know that a lot of it has been used for the evil one and the kingdom of darkness, but it's our time to take it. And so that's what we're going to do. We're taking it and we're equipping and networking people in the media and filmmaking and broadcasting, podcasting, writing, and news media and all the likes. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've got a lot of stuff going on there for both training, for networking opportunities at Content 22. Is it Content 22 for both meetings per year that you have, events?
Yeah, it'll be Content 22 in March and Content 22 in September.
Okay. And they're both held in Dallas?
Yeah, right now, Capernaum Studios.
Okay. All right.
Capernaum Studios is the studios that The Chosen shot their first season on.
So that's a few hours away from Dallas.
So if somebody attends, they get to see a tour of the sets and be able to walk around, take pictures, maybe do some devos right there on the sets.
And you have some training going on as well?
Absolutely. The way we normally structure it, Todd, it might not be this way forever. The way we have been structuring it is on Monday, February 28th, the first day of the conference, we have all-day boot camps. So about 10 in the morning to about 4 o'clock in the evening, we have an all-day boot camp, 4 of them, not 4 in one classroom, but 4 going on at one time. That means that each boot camps are 4 to 5 hours long. So we have screenwriting, we have acting, we have directing and producing, and those type of things. Also, we have one new this year, and that is producing a documentary. You want to do it right, if you want to do it correct, you want to do it to where people are drawn, we have that boot camp now. So we have 4 this year. And then at Monday night is when the conference starts. So we have a lot of let me just give you can I give you a rundown of how it looks?
Sure. Yep. Let's
do a rundown of how it looks real quick. Then on Monday night, we have dinner, and then we have worship and prayer for those in media. Now, we do that every conference. We start at the cross. Okay. We start at the cross every conference so we can get our hearts right and open up our hearts what God wants to speak to us throughout the conference. And then after the worship and prayer time, we will have a screening of the short films that were nominated, and those attending will vote for the best short film. Okay. It's all in one room. That could fit 350 people, and it's beautiful. It's on our 2,200 acre ranch, and Capernaum Studios has got 40 acres, and the evening sessions are on this beautiful building that you just will never forget, and decorated in a country ranch cowboy fashion. You just won't forget it. It's beautiful. And so that night we'll vote on the short films, and then Tuesday morning we get up. We got Devo at 8 o'clock in the morning. Then 9 o'clock we have purposefully networking. So there'll be, for all attendees, they will be networking. So there'll be an actual purposeful, planned way of networking with everyone at the conference from 9 to about 10:15. And then we have some other people that will come and talk. They have 2-minute stage time, so we understand what they're doing. Then we have actor demo reels. We'll watch the actor demo reels on Tuesday morning to see some of the actors that will be attending. So if we want to plug them into our movie, our film, our TV series, boom, we can talk to them right there on location. And so then there's Tuesday at lunch. We have a special speaker, Tracy Mitchell. She speaks around the world. She's one of the best speakers I've ever heard. She's right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then after that, we have workshops in the afternoon. We have about 8 workshops, and you don't want to miss those. They're about an hour long each. And then in the evening time, we'll have screeners again. The features we will screen partially, 3 of them that were nominated, and we'll vote on the features. So that's the first 2 days.
Wow.
So we're rocking it, man.
That sounds like it. How many attendees are you expecting?
About 250.
Okay. That's a good size.
Yeah, we generally get that. Before COVID, we were at about somewhere between 300 and 350. During COVID, we've been at about 200 and 250.
But it's still an important thing that you're doing, gathering all these filmmakers together, because there's not a whole lot for us, So
Absolutely.
I think that's a very important part of it.
Absolutely. Our number one thing, Todd, is that for building community. This is what we're known for. 5-star rating in building community and 5-star rating in spiritual renewal. So when you come, you are going to meet the Lord. No, not that you didn't meet him beforehand. I'm just saying you're going to be revived in your heart and hear from the Lord. And you will build community. If you've never been to this conference and you do not know one person, when it's over, you will know a family of people, because it's structured so you will build community.
When did you start the Content Film Festival?
We started them in 2014, the actual festival. It kind of arose out of many years of working with church media and then filmmakers. We started in 1992, and we started producing actually content for churches. And for many years, that's what we did. We were one of the first to produce content for churches. And then we kind of phased out of that the late 2000s, like 2009, 2010. We switched it to and transitioned into all Christians in media. And it ended up being that the TV and the filmmakers were coming to our meetings in Dallas in the droves, literally in droves. We didn't do anything. We didn't do some big marketing campaign. We literally had, within 4 years, 2010 to 2014, we had about 2,000 people, separate individual people in Dallas-Fort Worth, coming to our meetings at different times. And we're like, well, this is craziness. So let's start a conference for these people in Dallas. That was 2014. And, our intentions was always just to, first and foremost, help the people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, help the filmmakers, the Christians that are in media in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And if somebody else wanted to come, wonderful, bring them on. We'd love to have them. And of course, it quickly developed into people around the country attending. And of course, before COVID, we had several people around the world.
Wow.
And now after COVID, we do offer a virtual option for those who cannot fly, that they can also watch.
They can watch it. Is there any participation involvement with those who attend online? Is there anything for them?
Well, the best participation is this: is that what we do is that for the virtual conference, they will be able to see and hear those things are in the main hall only. So wherever that one camera is at in the main hall, that's what they're going to see and hear for those 3 days. The last event is the ceremony, the award ceremony. That will be live. It'll be live streamed. So before then, it is actually uploaded to the virtual content portal, and those who have paid for a virtual conference will get more than what they need. It'll be more than the value of what they're paying, but they'll see it a couple hours later than what it really is going on live, other than the award ceremony.
I see. That's great.
So sometimes, like, I'm the host of the award ceremony with Leland Clausen, and when the awards are given out, if I know they're watching virtual, I'll do a shout out to them right on the stage and to thank them for their participation.
Your last one was last November?
Last September.
And how did that one go?
Again, we had really good attendance. The Spirit of the Lord just met us, brought revival to our hearts. We built a lot of community. And, that's why we're doing them every 6 months, is that we don't see any reason why not to. We were doing it once a year. And because of COVID, we had to wait 15 months to do our Content 2020. So if I can go back just a few moments, we were supposed to have Content 2020 in 2020, September of 2020. Because we had kind of carved out for ourselves, Todd, the month of September is when we would have our conference. It was kind of away from everyone else's conferences. And so we had to kind of delay it to February of 2021. And so all that was a 15-month period, and we had more people than we've ever seen show up.
Wow.
And because of that, the momentum was so great, we decided to go ahead and do one every 6 months for as long as we needed or wanted, or whenever we heard from the Lord to say, slow down.
Yeah.
So we had one in the February of 2021. We had one in September of 2021. And then we're having one now in a week and a half, March of 2022.
And about how many submissions are you getting for short films and features?
Oh, that's good, bro. We don't really give out the numbers that we have, but we have a lot of submissions. That's all I could tell you. There's a lot. It's overwhelming the judges. And we thought, well, maybe if we went to twice a year, we might not have that many submissions, right? But when you're, I guess, located on Film Freeway, we were incorrect about that. We were still getting plenty of submissions. And our thinking was this, Todd, is that we have our conference once a year, but there's so many other people that can't come once a year in September that would like to come at a different time and participate. And we were right on. And we're just thankful that we can also minister to them also.
Oh, that's true.
So we have 2 competitions a year that start just after the conference. And so, like, I just got somebody who sent me an email just a few days ago saying, hey, we want to enter your conference. If it's too late, maybe it could be screened. If it's too late for that, maybe you can just mention it. And I said, you know what? Well, I'll tell you what. It sounds like such a great documentary. Why don't you just wait till the end of March when we're opening it up again and submit it? So now it's so easy to say that. It's easier for me to say that than say, well, you're going to have to wait about 5 months. To submit it. And that's way too down the road. Yeah.
That's very discouraging when you've finished a film, you just missed the deadline, and you got to wait a whole year to do it again.
Well, now what you do is you just go to somebody else's
that's right.
media conference. So
that's right.
Either we have 2 per year to minister to the saints, that are in media, or we just do it once a year, knowing that they'll just, God will send them other places, and that's fine. There's a lot of really good Christian film festivals out there, and we bless them and we appreciate them.
Yeah. It seems like it's growing too. It seems like we're on an upward rise with the amount of content and the quality of content that's being produced by Christians.
Well, that is so true. it just in the last 2, 3, 4 years, the quality has risen so much. And so many people are getting involved. And I tell you what, if I could give one piece of advice to those getting involved in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is so critical, what I'm about to say. After observing so many people for so many years in this industry, I would say, I would go back to the basics, and I would say, stay solid and structured with the Lord like you always have. Don't ever leave the basics of Christianity, of going to church, reading your Bible, praying, seeking the Lord. And when you got that down, then this is the advice I would give you. Is number one, build community. Build a team, a family of trusted people that you can share when things are going well and when things are going terrible. And they can surround you and pray for you and pray over you with a covering. Of course, that could go in any area of life. But look, number two, you're going into a combat zone. I mean, this is going to take, if you're doing a feature film, this could take 3 years. 3 years of your life or 4 years of your life. And you're going to need to understand that and come in all prepped, trained, just like the NFL. The Super Bowl just happened. Right. Before the Super Bowl happens, all those athletes train. They train every year, many times a year, and then they go to preseason. I mean, first it's training camp, preseason, then they start the games. And then, it takes several years for many of them, those players to come up to speed to where they need to be, to where they're being noticed. Well, Matt Stafford, I mean, he was on the Lions for many years, and people just struggle. Well, yeah, Lions, well, we'll probably win that game. But now, he got moved to the Rams, and boom, they win the Super Bowl. Yeah. And he got promoted, and many of the other people's got promoted that were on many other athletes. But going back to my point, build community. Yeah. Do not leave that out, because you're going to need to know who you can trust. And number two, know that you're going to be dedicating the next 3 or 4 years, if this is a feature film, to this feature film. Prepare, train, so you can go to the long haul and you won't be a statistic. Yeah. So those are two things that I would let people know. And I mean, if I could give one more, a lot of people ask for funding, Todd. They ask for, how do I do funding? I need to fund investors. Well, there's many ways to fund your project. Do not get stuck on one way. Start to pray and believe God, maybe even get an interval fasting, and tell your church to pray with you, and start looking for the answers that God will give you. Don't look for necessarily A, B, and C. Look for the way that God will provide. Right. Because I've seen it done so many different ways than what the norm is. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. This is a long haul commitment. You don't just jump into it and expect things to happen, because it's a craft. And I think one of the mistakes a lot of Christian filmmakers have made is that they have not respected the craftsmanship that goes into good filmmaking. And so they rush into things. But, at the same time, that's how you learn, is by rushing into things too. So, but you have to go into it knowing you're rushing and you're going to make mistakes. It's going to look ugly. If you talk to any of the Hollywood film directors, they'll say the same thing, that their first stuff was just awful. But that's the price you have to pay, and the road you have to go to traverse in order to grow as a filmmaker and be able to, produce something for the marketplace.
You're so right. I mean, even the Kendrick brothers, they put out Flywheel. Yeah. And Flywheel had such a great story, but it didn't have necessarily great resolution or anything. Yeah. You got to start somewhere. Yeah. Right. Don't despise the day of small beginnings. And if you're faithful in the small things, then God will promote you. If you remember Matthew, the parable of the talents in Matthew 25, right? Yeah. You had somebody had 1, 2, and 5. If you just have one talent, there's nothing wrong with multiplying it to have 2 and multiplying that to have 4 and to continue to go.
That's right. Start with the small things. That's so good. Thank you so much for being on and letting us know what's going on with the festival. And we'll be letting everybody know to check it out.
Well, I appreciate it. If they want to check it out, they go to content2022.org. It'll be in about a week and a half, so we don't have much time. I should say week and a half. Today's Tuesday, so it's about 2 weeks. Yeah. And go down and look at the program. It's right there in front of you when you go to the website. Just download it, check it out. And any questions, just send us an email in the contact us. and boom, we'll get right back with you. Todd, I pray, thank you so much for your show. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here. We appreciate you and all you're doing for the kingdom.
All right, thank you. I hope we can talk again and maybe do a recap of this year's festival. And I'd love to talk to you about all the other things that you're involved in, because you've got so many irons in the fire.
Well, listen, one thing I wanted to mention, Washington's Armor movie is coming out in 1 week. You got to see it. It's a quality, brother. Washington'sArmor.com. It's quality. God bless you, Todd.
All right. Thank you so much, Tim. You'll find links to the Content 2022 Film Festival, Capernaum Studios, the Christian Media Association, and the soon-to-be-released film, Washington's Armor, in the show notes of this episode. I hope you'll take some time to look over this festival, and if you can't join in person, to attend it online.
Our time together draws to a close, valiant filmmaker. We trust your heart has been warmed and your soul nourished. Your host has been Todd Schaefer, creative director of the faith-based independent production house Glorious Films and animation director at Tonic DNA, where he toils on productions for the major Hollywood establishment. If you wish to support the work of the ministry, or simply buy your overworked host a fancy $5 coffee to keep him warm and caffeinated as he pecks out his next script, you can do so on our website at ministryofmotionpictures.org. Again, that's ministryofmotionpictures.org. And you can help spread the word by feeding the algorithms when you share, like, link, follow, subscribe, or leave a nasty comment on our social media. Until we see you again, I adjure you, in the name of our Lord, go forth and boldly create film.
What we do in life echoes in eternity.